Hey, what's up, you guys? Let's get right into it. Today, we're going to talk about this guy right here. Can you see? Okay, there's my finger. What I'm pointing at right now is not you with my look at my little shaky ass finger. I'm not pointing at you. I'm pointing at my device right now. These devices can be good and they can be bad. But I think the bad might outweigh the good, and I'm gonna explain why. Because 20 plus years ago, these phones were just phones. They were just a way to call people. That was it. And then about 10 to 15 years ago, it went from just a phone to texting. Okay, so it was like email, but you can send it through your phone. And now it's we're at a point in our society where people are just glued to their phones. I know that kind of seems like a cliche nowadays, but it's true. A lot of people are addicted to their phones, like they're addicted to pornography. Like, well, can't I guess you can't really get pornography without the phone. Well, no, that's not true, because 15 years ago I used to have to go out of my way for porn. But awkward teen years, don't want to really get into that right now. Maybe some other day. But people are addicted to their phones, like pornography, like food, like sex, like anything that gives you an instant dopamine hit. People just can't help themselves, and I'm included in that category, unfortunately. I have to really limit my screen time, and if I can't do that, well, then maybe I'm just better off without a phone, without social media, which that doesn't really serve me, because this is really the only platform that I have where I can get vocal, and this is the only platform where I can really utilize my talents and my skill sets. I'm not saying that this is all I want to do. Of course I want to display my talents and my skill sets outside of my phone, whether it be through events, through personal training sessions. But we're all just sucked into this false world, that is called, our phones. That's called social media. That's called the internet. And I think it's really important to bring this to the forefront, because I think it's kind of like what Andy Frisella talks about on his podcast. These phones are becoming what cigarettes used to be 40 or 50 years ago, before more and more studies came out that showed that cigarettes are actually bad for you. They'll give you lung cancer. You could age a lot quicker, and you can die a lot quicker. But I think the same could be said for phones. I think that these phones, although they are good in a lot of aspects, they're good in terms of networking. They're good in terms of reaching out to people, of socializing, I guess. Maybe you're having a really hard time getting a date, and you're a man or a woman, you're single, you're looking to mingle, you're looking for something serious, and so dating apps are a really good way to do that. They're a really good way to find people, and it's a good way to meet people, right? But I think it could also serve as a deterrent from actually living your life, from actually experiencing life, and that's definitely something that we've lost in our culture, is the life experience. Experiencing love, experiencing real happiness, experiencing real joy. really really utilizing our talents in a way where we have to work for them, where we have to get outside of our comfort zone. Because I'll be honest, you know, doing these videos sometimes makes me a little bit nervous, because I know that someone somewhere is watching this, or maybe there's a few people that are watching this. Who knows? Maybe 100 people might watch this, and so that tends to make me a little bit nervous. But there's nothing more. There's nothing scarier. There's nothing that will cause you to shut down more than actually getting up in front of people and speaking in front of them. And I've gotten up and spoke quite a few times. I do have public speaking experience, but the nervousness that's attached to it just doesn't hit as hard as when I do it on my phone. It's just that, you know, it just doesn't provide me the same amount of anxiety as I would public speaking. But I think I'm trying to think of a way where we could live with these devices without having to completely get rid of them altogether. But I don't even know if that's possible. We may end up at some point in the future have to do that. Unfortunately, you know, as much as we love our phones, as much as we get addicted to them 24/7, I think it detaches us from reality. I think it makes us delusional. It's definitely made me delusional in the past, but I think it does. I think it does a lot more damage to younger people, because younger people, I want to say the 25 and younger crowd, all they've known is technology, all they've known is social media, you know, and I think by only growing up on social media and phones, I think it's made the younger crowd more. I think it's enabled them to have unrealistic expectations, and so that's why you see so many young people, they start an Instagram or YouTube, or you know, some of them, if they don't have any talents or skill sets, they go straight to OnlyFans, right? But I think so many of them get so frustrated when they first start, when really it's a package deal, right? If that's what you're looking to do, if you're looking to become an entrepreneur, it's going to take a little bit of time, you know. And I hear Andy Frisella on his podcast talk all the time about how easy and simple it is, and how much faster you can get to where you want to go with all this technology and social media. And although I do agree with them, you know, I mean, there are examples of people that have, you know, that started a YouTube channel. They got, one of their videos went super viral. They got, you know, they got hugely successful 2-3 years in. But that's the anomaly, right? That's not the vast majority of people, especially young people that start. They don't, you know, you don't see any success for years. You know, I think I don't think that the laws of physics change just because of technology. I think if you're looking to start a business of any kind, it's just going to take time. That's just the way that it is. But I mean, it depends on the person too, I guess. It depends on the individual. For me, I started this 7 years ago, but didn't start to get really serious about it until about 3 years ago, back in 2020. Coming up on 3 years now. And 2 years ago, it'll be 3 years ago coming up. But anyway, but that was all due to the fact that I just wasn't taking it as seriously as I should have 6 or 7 years ago, and you know, it just didn't start to really dive in head first until, you know, quite recently, right? But, you know, that was all due to laziness. It was all due to, you know, like, you know, just the work ethic wasn't there. And, you know, maybe a lot of it had to do with, you know, the fact that I was a little bit scared, you know, didn't really know, like, if I put myself out there more and more, like, what would people really think of, you know, what I'm trying to put out? What would people really think about, you know, what I say, the way that I talk, the way that I move my hands? You know, the list goes on and on. But you can't think that way. You can't, because if you just, if you can, here's the way that I look at it. You can get just as delusional about how bad you are, just as much as you can be delusional about how good you are. You can't. It's like this guy, Coach Corey Wayne. This is his direct quote. You can't think of things as better than they are, but you can't think of things as worse than they are either. And you can be delusional on both ends. So you just have to, you know, whatever it is that you're addicted to, maybe, you know, limit it as much as you can, you know. And if you can't limit it, well, then maybe it's time to get rid of it. You know, what you wouldn't keep going to the bars and keep drinking alcohol if you're an alcoholic, right? If it's a problem for you and it's not really an issue for everybody else, but it's a deterrent for you. Why would you keep going out and having drinks if you know that it's going to either erode your success or it's going to ruin your life, right? So why would you keep going back to that thing that you're just so addicted to, and that holds you back? So anyway, guys, just wanted to make an episode. I just wanted to God, my brain cells are non-existent right now. But I just want to make a quick episode about this. I hope you liked it. I hope it brought value. I hope, if anything, you got at least a little bit of insight into it, a little bit of perspective. And if you did, make sure that you share it with your friends and your family. Subscribe to me on YouTube at Collectively Fearless. Follow me on Instagram at itsmatty_ice. And then, holy shit, we're 12 minutes in. So I gotta get going. But yeah, guys, do all the things. Go check out OSNAP. They got some really great products for you, including a really great pre-workout that I think you should try. It's called Surge and Snap. I'm not going to spoil the rest of it for you guys, so I think you should just go check it out for yourself. So anyway, that's it for me. So until tomorrow, I will see you guys again soon.